My name is Tyler, and this is Taylor, and tonight we're going to be telling two stories, one from my childhood and one from his childhood. Alright, so I will go first. So as many of you might know, I was in elementary school at the point in time. So I was in third grade when Valentine's Day was coming around the corner. You know, I'm in third grade, you know, this is probably not going to end well for me, but I make a card, I give it to the little girl, I'm sorry.
He's also a little boy, so it's acceptable.
At the time I was in third grade, so it's not weird. So I hand her the card, and I tell her she's as pretty as a pretty pink flower.
You said what?
I know, at the time I didn't know what that meant. Well, the teacher came over and she was asking us what's wrong. You know, there's a lot of fights in high school, so you know, she kicked me out of the class. And you know, I'm sitting there, you know, I'm in the hallway crying because I just got kicked out of class. And the principal comes by. He's a big dude. He's about like 5'4" or 6 foot. He's like in between. And well, he picks me up like I'm a little rag doll because I'm only like 16 at the time. He like throws me out of the school, right? And when my mom comes and picks me up, and she's pretty mad. So she asks me, you know, what happened? So I tell her I was in line, right? And I was the lunch, and I had this PB&J that I didn't want to share with her.
Tyler, you're allergic to peanuts.
Yeah, well, apparently she knew that too, and she saw right through that line. And then she asked me what really happened. And well, I told her what I did and what I said. And after I told her, she kicked me right out of the booster chair, out of the car. So I was sitting on the side of the road, pretty frustrated with what was going on in my life right now. Well, anyways, this cop pulls by, and well, he gets out of the car to help me. And well, he asked me what's wrong, and so I'm about to share my story and how I came to faith, and you know how I came to Christ, because that's what I thought he was asking. And he's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. So I thought he was an atheist. And, well, I've been a theologian my whole life, and so I was about to, you know, debate him. And well, he's like, he tells this lame joke. He's like, I gotta get back to the police station, you know, all the toilets are out and we got nothing to go on. Well, I thought that was pretty bad too. Well, I tell him what really happened, what happened at school, and you know, the bad day I've been having. Well, he didn't like, you know, what I said to the girl. Yeah. And so, well, he puts me in the back of the car, and we're driving to the police station. And a few days later, you know, I'm sitting there in like this Egyptian-looking pit. When this like, I think it was like a butler or like a baker, and they start having dreams.
That's Monday's presentation for Genesis class.
Okay, I got this all stuff. Okay, so anyways, I'm sitting in juvie with this cool little jacket thing. And when my inmate comes by, and he's like, "Hey man, you know, I know you've been having a hard time here." I was like, "Yeah, I don't like it here." And well, he's like, "Well, I have a plan to escape." So he gives me the blueprints. But he also told me, like, there's this guy that can, you know, tell me what I did was wrong and why it was wrong. Because I still didn't know. So, you know, I escaped from prison. He told me the guy was a far away. So I'm reading the, you know, little Google Maps thing, and he's like 2 minutes away. So I start walking in his direction. And there's this road that I have to cross. You know, I'm waving at the guy, he's in his little rocking chair. You know, he waves back. And so as I cross the road, out of the corner of my eye, I see something, and I got hit by a bus. So it took me 4 weeks to recover. You know, I finally get out of the hospital, and the guy had died. Moral of the story is just look both ways before you cross.
I had a friend get hit by a bus when I was a kid.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Should I tell the story?
Yeah.
Well, as you might know, I grew up in Canada. Yeah,
That's a problem.
that's a problem. Anyway, Growing up in Témiscamingue, Quebec was an interesting childhood. There was a fella that I grew up by, his name was Jacques Degussier. Jacques Degussier, he was a fellow who really thought, you know. While I was struggling through high school, Jacques had already gotten, you know, I think it was 3 degrees from the University of Science up there in Quebec. And, he had already gone across the pond to the fellows at Cambridge and stuck it to them, got a PhD. And, you know, Jacques de Guteneau was, he was a pretty, you know.
Did you just change his name?
A man grows. Anyway, Jacques, he, we always told Jacques growing up, you know, you're gonna be the next wise man of Quebec, you know. We had, you know, Frank Chauvet, we had Justin Bieber, we had
Justin Bieber?
no, Justin Bieber, we had Jim, you know, the 3 wise men of Quebec. And we always would tell him, you know, you're gonna be the next guy. And, you know, one day he just vanished. And we didn't see Jacques for a long time. And, you know, I moved on with my life. I went from here to there and here again. And, you know, I traveled, went to France for a bit, because, you know, I'm French Canadian and had to go check out the roots. I spent some time down in San Diego.
That's not France.
That's it, yeah. And really got acquainted with the San Diego Zoo and the SeaWorld there. And I asked a guy at SeaWorld, hey, is there another SeaWorld location? He was like, yeah, we just opened one up in Niagara Falls. And so I was like, wow. So I went up to Niagara Falls, my homeland of Canada, and, you know, I'm there looking at the fish and the belugas, as you do. I couldn't find the dolphins, you know. Dolphins are my favorite animal. Anyway, and I look, and who do I see but
Jacques?
No, it was an attendant. And the attendant comes over, and I ask him, hey, where are the baby dolphins at? And he led me down that way. And I get down there, and I see a figure of a man feeding the dolphins. And he turns around, I make eye contact, and it's Jacques de Guteneau.
I love that guy.
Well, I used to. Now, Jacques is feeding the dolphins here. And I look at him with just this disgust. I told him, Jacques, you were gonna go somewhere. You were supposed to be the next wise man of Quebec. And I said, we pinned all our hope on you, the whole town of Témiscamingue, Quebec. We pinned our hopes on you. You were supposed to go to Canada's nation's capital of Ottawa, and you were gonna be an incredible man. And Jacques looks at me, and I'll never forget what he said. He said, I think I'm serving a youthful porpoise.
That's all you could come up with? We had one week to think of a story. That's worse than telling a story for a long time and then the main character gets hit by a bus.
Well, the moral of the story is, I'm not here for fancy things, or fancy schmancy things, or fancy schmancy wancy things, or fancy schmancy take a trip to fancy things. I'm here to waste your time and mine. Thank you.